funniest mix-up that almost got you blacklisted from school? When I applied to medical school, I met the dumbest admissions director alive. Her stupidity opened the door to everything I'd ever dreamed of. I'd wanted to be a doctor since I was 8, when my little brother nearly died from an asthma attack. I watched his lips turn blue through the ER window. When doctor saved him, I knew I had to be one of them. This school had the only pediatric program that would accept my research. Every other program had rejected me, loans were maxed out, and parents mortgaged the house for this shot. Dr. Tanner was reorganizing her bookshelf when I met her, muttering about how Grey's Anatomy belonged next to romance novels. She became my biggest advocate over the years. Decision day arrived. The message came at 3:47 p.m. My hands shook as I opened it. Rejection. Academic dishonesty violation. Everything crumbled. I called Dr. Tanner immediately, voice cracking. She promised she'd found evidence and could fix everything. The next morning I sat in that committee meeting, sweating bullets. Distinguished physicians stared at me. My future was balanced on Dr. Tanner's presentation. She pulled out a folder confidently, explaining the accusation was wrong and she had proof. My heart lifted. Maybe there was hope. Dr. Tanner held up a crumpled grocery list, pointing out they thought I'd plagiarized medical terminology, but it showed ibuprofen, bandages, and thermometer. The committee chair blinked slowly. I watched his face shift from confusion to dawning horror. He asked carefully whether she was suggesting writing medical supplies on a grocery list constituted plagiarism. Dr. Tanner beamed, explaining that wasn't the real problem. The issue was much more serious. My stomach dropped. She wasn't done. She announced that I didn't have laboratory experience, then produced a second piece of paper, calling it a smoking gun. She smoothed out a crumpled restaurant receipt. The committee leaned forward. She declared this receipt clearly showed table service, and I'd been lying about lab table experience. I stared at the pizza receipt. 2 pepperoni pizza, table 7, $24.99. My name was scribbled in the corner. The room went dead silent. I watched the committee chair's mouth fall open. The woman next to him dropped her pen. Another physician slowly removed his glasses and cleaned them, as if that would make what he heard make sense. Dr. Tanner wasn't finished. She pointed at my handwriting, calling it evidence of premeditation. She explained I'd written my name on it, proving I was participating in deceptive table work. The chair picked up the receipt with trembling fingers. He studied it like hieroglyphics. His voice was barely a whisper as he asked whether she believed eating pizza at a restaurant table qualified as laboratory experience. Dr. Tanner admitted it sounded a little silly when he put it like that, then brightened. She insisted the evidence spoke for itself. Table service equals table experience. It was right there in black and white. That's when it hit me. The sheer impossibility of what was happening. This woman thought I was running an elaborate academic fraud involving pepperoni pizza. My family's house, my dreams, hanging in the balance because someone couldn't tell the difference between restaurant and laboratory. I started laughing. Not a giggle. A full body, can't breathe, tears streaming breakdown. I doubled over, gasping, while the committee watched in stunned silence. Then I heard it. A snort from across the table. The committee chair was covering his mouth, his shoulders shaking. The woman who dropped her pen started giggling. Within seconds, the room erupted. Dr. Tanner looked around in bewilderment, asking why everyone was laughing and insisting this was serious academic misconduct. The chair wiped tears from his eyes and stood up. He declared that in 30 years of medical education, he'd never encountered such a spectacular misunderstanding of basic reality. Dr. Tanner was terminated, effective immediately. He turned to me, his voice still shaky with laughter, offering immediate acceptance with full scholarship. Relief hit me like a truck. That evening, I called my grandmother. When I told her I'd gotten in, she whispered that we'd done it. I tried to explain the pizza situation, but she was laughing too hard. 10 years later, I keep that pizza receipt framed in my office. When patients ask about it, I tell them life has a funny way of working out. Last week, a mother mentioned taking her son for pizza after his appointment. I grinned and said to enjoy table service, but not put it on her resume.